Hello everyone, Philopanic here with a replay cast. This time we're looking at a 4-player FFA from Ranked Q featuring Trattpingvin, Zorbz, Hexpus, and Blues. It is a electronics colony, Russian colony. We have expansives, scavengers, scientists, and elites. I'm casting this with the UE Plus mod, so you'll see some slight differences in the UE layer, including the ability to get a nice bird's eye view of this map, and we can see that most of the founding locations are up here on the top side. We have some spots for expansives over here. Really no carbon to speak of. Dry ice isn't really usable in terms of carbon. Usually most of the silicon is down here at the bottom. We do have core samples. And yes, we do see the first expansive HQ being founded by Tratt over here on top, crushing all this aluminum and going into iron for a really quick HQ2 upgrade. Going into this water over here, Blues is the second found. Going to be a little bit slower shipping that iron in over here. I have to wonder. Yeah, that does seem like that is the best way to do it. I suppose you could found over on this side and ship your aluminum in, but at the end of the day that doesn't matter too much. Zorbz going for the dry ice scavenger. That's a bold plan. Actually going for a silicon monopoly. Crushed all the silicon, but there are core samples, so slant drilling you could definitely... With slant drilling or core samples you could get in on Zorbz's silicon monopoly, and Hexpus still hasn't found it yet, just waiting to found. I think the best place for Hexpus to go... Where is the rest of the water? Water's pretty difficult, so we're probably going to look at another expansive. I mean, you could found over here, but you're a little bit far away from iron. Maybe you found over here, but then you're a little bit far away from water. So there's some trade-offs, or maybe over here, but once again, water's going to be an issue. We'll just have to see where Hexpus decides to found. Blues is to HQ2. Moving into a second iron, because this is only a medium. Securing the one tile of water, as Tratt did a very good job cutting this water in half. Zorbz still in HQ1, only has 2 waters over here. Oh no, they didn't even have those 2 waters. Those came up from core samples onto from these cracked riverbed tiles over here. So a little bit unlucky that he only got 2 carbon. It's gonna take a while for him to get to the upgrade, as carbon from the single solar condenser is going to take a really long time to come in. Now this replay is from the previous patch, so we do have some replay UE bugs that are not happening on the current patch. Tratt first HQ3 and Hexpus still hasn't found it, which means at Sol 2, Hexpus is probably AFK or is in Q and didn't notice that the game started, so that's quite unfortunate. Highly unlikely that Hexpus will be able to make a comeback in this situation, this far behind. Zorbz up to HQ2. We should see some power being moved into shortly. That power price is climbing, and the game has decided that yes, people will be moving into power very soon. We do have the geothermal tile being auctioned for 20k to Tratt. Plenty more geothermal tiles on the map, so that won't be an issue there. Blues going to HQ3 just as we take a look, going to move into another steel mill, as steel still decently expensive. Was thinking about going into 2 steel mills, is going to claim this water, probably putting down some wind turbines there, and then maybe thinking about slant drilling into this water layer. No, instead it's going to be solar panels, as silicon was a lot cheaper than carbon. Tratt's over here struggling in the sea debt a little bit. Not making the most amount of money with anything, but does have the upgrade to HQ3. Then should be able to move into some farms with some pretty good profits on those. Also put up some more power and hopefully take care of this debt problem, as Tratt is in D debt at Sol 2, which is not where you want to be. Zorbz still lagging over here at HQ2, moving in some water. Doesn't really have anything that's earning Zorbz money. And this carbon shortage, not what Zorbz wants to see. But almost does have the upgrade there, so probably going to move into some farms themselves, or maybe some power. That would be good. HQ3. Tratt is on HQ4, moving into those farms as anticipated, also claiming 2 more geotherms. That seems a little bit excessive. I mean, it's good in the short term as power is pretty high. Oh, Blue's hitting that one tile there in the middle and getting his own farms freezed in return, and we do have Hexpus founding over here as an expansive at Sol 3. HQ1, that's going to be a long climb back into relevancy. Deciding to skip steel completely and chase the highly profitable food market. Completely agree with that decision. We'll just have to see how that goes. Blues is sitting with the most amount of cash, does have the upgrade if he so chooses, and does move to HQ4. Meaning Zorbz is running late as this. A scavenger is a scavenger. You never want to be an HQ level behind an expansive. It means you're behind. Keeping pace with an expansive means you're behind if you have a lot less claims at expansive, getting 1 claim at each HQ level. So as a scavenger, you really need to be beating the expansives into those upgrades, and that's why this sort of carbon solar condenser scavenger just doesn't work. And then Zorbz is trying to go for this really long-term play of his elemental quarry, and it's just slowing him down too much in this early game. Struggling just a little bit. I'd rather see Zorbz move into some farms here. Hexpus HQ2. So we're starting to make a decent recovery. We do have some mutinies going on Tratt's geotherms. This one over here, mutiny by Blues. Only one of the 3 geotherms is defended, which is another reason why moving into 3 is quite risky. Tratt decided to rebuild this greenhouse farm instead. There are no spies, so this time Hexpus EMPing that same tile again. And now Tratt has a EMP to use at his own discretion. I'm going to throw it right back on Hexpus' farms. That seems a little bit misplaced, as Blues at the moment is Tratt's competitor right now. I'd throw it on these farms here, and not Hexpus' farms. Zorbz. Slowdown striking. Tratt realizing that, you know, with all of these EMP goons that are popping EMPs over here, being popped by EMPs, might as well do a slowdown strike because those are not blocked by the EMPs. And Blues blowing up one of Tratt's geotherms. Tratt did go to HQ5. And Blues is going to start to make a run on it. Blues does not have enough cash to finish this by himself. If he's going to do it, he's going to need some help from the black market. So that's a good first start. Gonna have to sell out of this one pip of the stock here. But Blues does seem to have a faster income right now because his farms are fully operational and Tratt's farms are frozen and or slowed down, but that's going to end very soon, and then Tratt's going to start making some money. Zorbz does have the chance to place spoiler here, and instead is going to upgrade. So it's looking unlikely that Blues will be able to make the kill by himself, since power's been so high for so long. Yeah, Blues realizing this is selling out. Another geothermal tile being auctioned off. Tratt's going to pick up a 4th geotherm. Tratt just keeping it. Raising the price. Another EMP on Tratt, this time on his other farms. Tratt really only has 1 cent of place of income, and now Hexpus is going to start buying in the Tratt. That is an interesting decision. So Blues is going to start buying right back in. Blues has enough for 2 more shares if Blues sells out of this last pip of stocks. The question is, does Blues have more income than Tratt does? And the answer to that question is Blues only needs 1 more share of stock before Tratt needs to get 2, as Blues can always sell out of this pip of stock, and it looks like Blues is going to win the race with that slowdown strike. So Tratt's going to be the first one out of this game off of a majority buy. There goes Blues selling. His last pip of stock actually doesn't quite have enough, so it is a race. 20k versus 16k, 21k, 23k, 18, 24k, 25k, 22. It's very, very close. It looks like Blues will get it. Tratt probably won't be able to defend themselves. And there it is. Blues taking out Tratt with a little bit of help from Hexpus. Without that help from Hexpus, this majority buy would not have been possible. So Tratt rolling the dice with his upgrade to HQ5 and coming out on the losing end, not expecting Hexpus to help Blues out there, because this seems like Blues is in the leader seat. I mean, Zorbz does have a ton of money all off of this carbon here, but a lot of that price of that carbon was Zorbz upgrading it, and Zorbz is going to need the majority of his money just to get the upgrade to HQ5. So that and Zorbz is in D+1 debt. Never a good place to be. Hexpus over here is making some decent money, moving into a bunch of life support markets, also moving into this lucrative carbon market with 3 solar condensers for himself. Zorbz is going to have to decide if they want to buy. Oh, we're going to have a little bit of a majority buy problem. Majority buy race between Zorbz and Blues here. Blues has the advantage of higher share price. Zorbz has the advantage of more money. Zorbz also, I think, has a little bit more income with these solar condensers, but that is going down very fast. Check over here and see that Blues doesn't quite have anything. Well, Blues has roughly the same amount of income too, plus the sub, but Hexpus is going to join in on Blues. So if Hexpus gets enough money for this one last share, then we might see Zorbz and Hexpus take out Blues and have 2 majority buys in a row. Yeah, Blues probably wants to sell out of Zorbz and defend themselves, and yes, he starts to begin to do that, but he's got to buy 3 pips of stock, and there Hexpus goes. So the question is, can Zorbz get 37k? And all of a sudden those shipments do come in. Zorbz does have the buy, just needs to realize it. Needs to sell out of everything. There's that red buy button, and Blues is taken out by a majority buy 2, getting a little bit too greedy this game, just trying to go for that very quick kill instead of defending himself and riding the long-term advantages that he has by owning the majority of stock in Trattpingvin, who is going to be quite a profitable sub, already moving into an Offworld market. Offworld launches are 56k profit per launch, so that would have been quite the easy route for Blues to win this game in. But rolling the dice, coming up empty, so we do have a competition between Hexpus, the Expansive, who found it extremely late, and Zorbz, the Dry Ice Scavenger, who is in D+5 debt, 244k and counting. So, what can we expect to see from the rest of this game? Well, water is extremely high. water. There is not a lot of water. Zorbz does not have any more water access. Zorbz does have carbon. Zorbz does have silicon, so something maybe going in their hack array, hacking up silicon is what the order of operations is for Zorbz, but Zorbz does have more shares in both Tratt and Blues. So long term, this sub right here from Tratt is going to pay out a lot of dividends with these two off-world markets. And I do need to be produced first. And these off-world markets do cost a decent amount to be put up. 200 steel, 500 electronics, and almost 200 glass. So those are not cheap. So most of this 130k is in this off-world market right here. You have a auction tile over here, a good, decent pleasure dome spot, especially with the really low power price and two expansives at HQ5. When you're D+5 debt, there's really no reason not to bid up on that spot. 18k, 20k, D+6 debt. What does that additional amount of debt? What do you even care at this point? Zorbz is in electronics, realizing that, hey, electronics is where it's at. Probably rotate out of these chems and just go full into electronics. Although, is burning up a lot of carbon there. The carbon price continues to climb. D+6 debt for Zorbz. Hexpus over here, HQ4. In the C debt, so struggling just a little bit, but able to get in some of these life support markets with these water tiles. Those water tiles weren't there before, so that was some really lucky core sampling, finding a second high. The Hexpus is going to be able to defend themselves, so this case should be a race to pick up the rest of the subs. I would think especially Tratt with these two off-world markets. Zorbz does have enough money to do that. Hexpus, realizing that those off-world markets are giving Zorbz a lot more money than they're giving him, is going to blow off one of them. Yeah, Hexpus thinking about buying into Zorbz and instead deciding to buy into Blues. No, that was Zorbz buying into Hexpus. My apologies. We're not going to see either player buy into these subs, which is definitely, I feel like a mistake, especially for Zorbz since D+8 debt, 773k. There we go, now they're buying into the subs. It looks like it's going to be a 5-5 split. That is not what Zorbz wanted to see. Well, Zorbz is going to buy into Blues, as Hexpus could buy into Blues. Hexpus still has more cash, but Zorbz does get the advantage, so at least be a 6-4 split there in Zorbz's favor. We'll just have to see how this goes. D+8 debt. That +8 just tells you how many cook-the-books Zorbz would have to buy if they were on the black market just to get back to a C bond rating. 390k debt. That's why, despite having this stock advantage owned in both Blues and Tratt and Hexpus, Zorbz does have the far lower share price than Hexpus, although it's only off by about 7. Power rising back up. Hexpus is in a hack array looking to... Well, the hack array is not quite under construction, but will be looking to hack something. Hexpus himself in D+1 debt, going to mutiny that off-world market there. We can see the launch here from the UE Plus mod right there, helpfully going to stay. The hacker array also built and immediately starting to hack some food. Good choice, as Zorbz never, well, just has some food online right now, but only has 2. Hexpus going into that upgrade. Still has 6 claims. Let's see, what should you move them into? Some power probably wouldn't be a bad idea. Well, unless you're going to hack down power. But maybe moving into... well, there's really no good way to put up cheap power. Another geotherm wouldn't be too bad. If you can get yourself back into sea debt without paying too much, which Hexpus did pay a decent amount of money there, then you can hit Zorbz with the black market and just shut down all of his profit centers, shut down these carbon solar condensers, this carbon income, which is earning Hexpus a ridiculous amount of money. Instead, he's going to use pirates. That's a mistake. These should have been EMP'd, not pirated. Moving into a patent lab also for Hexpus. Meanwhile, Zorbz in D+8 debt, 550k debt. Half of the way into buying. Hexpus right now 60% and climbing. Could sell out of these 2 shares that Zorbz has and actually finish the game off not very shortly. Look at all that income from the silicon, from the carbon. Just coming in. Watch as these silicon shipments come in. Watch how much money they're earning. This is an absolute ridiculous amount of money from each carbon shipment. We do have a bid in auction for cold fusion. Zorbz very close to winning this game. 94%, just needs one more shipment of silicon to come in. Nope, doesn't even need that. There's a red buy button. Zorbz is going to win with a absolutely ridiculous $561,000 in debt. D+8 bond rating. Was paid through the nose in interest. Let's actually check, see how much interest Zorbz has paid this entire game. $295,000 worth of interest charged to Zorbz's company throughout this game. But Zorbz says, I don't care. That is just a state of mind anyway. I'm going to win this game. Wow. Quite the upset. It is not often that you see a dry ice scavenger actually win a game, much less a dry ice scavenger in 561k debt. Now, to be fair, Tratt was not expecting Hexpus to gang up with Blues to take him out. Blues wasn't even expecting that. And then Blues, on the other hand, wasn't really expecting both Zorbz and Hexpus to gang up on him, but probably should have been anticipating that more, as the gang up had already happened against Tratt in his favor. So some misplays there, not defending themselves, rolling the dice, coming up short, and then of course Hexpus founding late. If this expansive had founded on time, I highly doubt Zorbz would have been able to win off of a dry ice scavenger. But that did not happen. This was the game. Well played by Zorbz. A very entertaining and good win from him. If you enjoyed this video, let me know by hitting that like button, subscribing, or leaving a message in the comments. This is Philotenic signing out.